Well, we're kind of a dilemma now. You know, I think we need the Ellis water really bad to heal our infirmities, but I'm still wondering about the Divinia water and the C60 stuff. So what are the opportunities for getting a machine or saving money on any of that stuff, or is the Ellis water good enough by itself to get us going, and then we'll worry about the other stuff later? So, would you believe that this last week we had 2 days of bright sunshine without one cloud or chemtrail in sight?
Clear skies, clear blue skies.
It was so refreshing not to see chemtrails for 2 whole days. So I was wondering what happened. They run out of gas or what? I get the pleasure of working with Trump's airplane next week.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, Trump is going to park his airplane right next to the tower where I work at. And he's going to stay on the premises and give a speech to the local citizens. And, of course, whenever he comes in, the Secret Service is all over the place.
Yep.
And we're probably going to have one guy in the tower that's, talking with us. If you guys want me to pass anything on for you? Any comments you'd like to pass on to the Secret Service?
Bob, red is his color, so you guys could make money selling tomatoes to the audience.
That ought to go over big.
I could sit up on the side of the tower and throw rotten tomatoes into the crowd. Wake up. Hey, by the way, you guys know the real story behind John Hinckley and shooting President Reagan? You guys ever heard that story? Well, remember when John Hinckley attacked President Reagan and shot Brady in the head, and they passed a whole bunch of laws, gun control laws and all that, back when Reagan was president? Well, anyway, I was, through my CIA friends and stuff, I heard the rumor that in reality, John Hinckley never shot President Reagan. What happened was Hinckley showed up with his .22 caliber pistol and started shooting at Reagan and everybody in sight, and Brady dove in front and took a bunch of the bullets, and the Secret Service guys took Reagan and shoved him in the car and back into his limousine, and they drove off the site. And the rumor had it that what happened was the Secret Service was trying to kill off Reagan so that the vice president, who happened to be our shape-shifting reptilian president, George H.W. Bush, he was vice president, and if they succeeded in killing Reagan, then Bush would have been president right off the bat for the entire term. And that was the plan. And so the Secret Service agents, they have a lot of assassins that work with the Secret Service and CIA and all that sort of stuff. And George Herbert Walker Bush, being at one time the head of the CIA, knew all about their assassin guns, and they have guns that they use for assassins, which are .22 caliber dart guns, and they don't use explosives. They're fired by air, just like a pellet gun. They have they're air guns, and they make very little noise, maybe just a very quiet popping noise when they shoot them off. And it turns out that when at the time that the Secret Service agents were pushing Reagan into the back of the limo, one of the Secret Service agents pulled out one of the dart guns and shot Reagan in the chest. And they were hoping that they were going to do him in and say Hinckley was the guy who shot him with a .22 caliber gun outside. And so this is the interesting part of the story. And as soon as the shooting took place, the local police called the hospital and say there's been a shooting, send an ambulance. So the hospital sent out an ambulance out to the shooting site, and they picked up Brady and any of the other people that were hit by the stray bullets, and they rushed them off to the hospital. Well, the driver of Reagan's limousine kept driving around in circles and just went around and around and around and drove around for 45 minutes waiting for Reagan to die. But Reagan didn't die. He survived. And so finally the two Secret Service agents in the back and the driver, they decided, well, maybe we better go to the emergency room because Reagan was complaining about chest pains. So they went to the hospital, and they arrived 20 minutes after the ambulance that picked up Brady arrived at the hospital. You know, this is part of the untold story. And so, as it turns out, Reagan survived. They took him into the operating room, and his doctor that worked on him pulled out the assassin's bullet, but nobody said it was an assassin's bullet. They said it was one of Hinckley's bullets. And Reagan, in an interview while he was still in the hospital, they asked him, well, what did it feel like to be shot by Hinckley? And he says, well, I'll tell you, it's the strangest thing that, you know, I never felt any pain until after the Secret Service agents pushed me in the back seat and jumped on top of me and we drove away. It was only a couple of minutes after we started driving that I felt the pain in my chest. And so, anyway, the rest of the story was, you know, I was applying to teach at Lewis University at the time, and the day I went in to be interviewed to get hired as a professor at the university, they were hiring other people. They were hiring other teachers, and one of the guys that they were hiring turned out to be the guy who was in charge of the FBI school, where they teach FBI agents how to do their thing, to be agents, and how to handle weapons, and how to, you know, go after criminals and all that. And he was the head of the school, and the university I was applying for was looking for somebody to take over teaching in their justice department, and they wanted somebody with great stature to teach the program and become dean of that particular college, the College of Criminal Justice. And it turns out this guy's in there, and he and I are sitting out there in our suit and ties waiting to be interviewed. And I started talking to him, and he tells me, yeah, I was head of the FBI school for all these years and everything. And so I popped the question. I said, well, if you were at that level, you probably know about Reagan's assassination. You know, and I said, you know, even the guys in the Chicago office of the FBI knew about it. And I said, well, you certainly must know about it. And he looks at me kind of cross-eyed, and he said, where did you hear about that? and I said, well, I first heard it from, you know, some CIA friends of mine, and he says, I said, is there any truth to that? And he says, I can't really say anything. Well, can you nod? And he said, nodded yes. He said, it's true. And this was the head of the FBI school. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. It really happened that way. Now I forgot why I even mentioned what brought that subject up. What were we talking about?
Trump.
Oh, we were talking about
coming.
Trump. So,
yeah.
So anyway, talking about Trump and Secret Service agents. Well, not all Secret Service agents are your friend, you know, and I think that's why Trump likes to travel with his own security group, because, you know, he probably feels a little safer that way, and he may even know that story also, being as high up as he is. Well, anyway, I just thought I'd share that.
Well, he's flying into a town of about 4,000 people, so that's. Well, Mosinee is about 4,000 people.
Well, yeah, but the surrounding area has about 60,000 people.
Yeah, the surrounding area is about 60,000, but that's nothing compared to some of the bigger cities. that he could be flying into.
So anyway, I just was wondering if anybody wanted to pass anything on. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's what he brought up last week about the computers being somehow connected and evolved from the astral world.
Well, he said that he mentioned that, I don't know if he was talking about computers directly, but he said, I thought it was kind of interesting. He said anything that's on a computer is like in cyberspace, which is equivalent to the astral plane, that it hasn't really materialized here yet. And he says, like, for example, if you print out an article, let's say like Sandy's article she wrote about Marjorie, it's still on the astral plane. But as soon as you print it out on paper, then it becomes physical and part of the physical world. So I think it was something along those lines. Well, here's a thought for you guys. I don't know if you like apple cider or fruit juice, but you go in the grocery store and buy apple cider in a glass gallon jar for about $3.99, and you'll get the juice plus the jar.
But they're gonna ship these out to people. I know the caps hold that cider smell for a long time.
What if you put the ice water to clear it all out?
Well, I hadn't had that experience yet. I believe that's all we have for today.
Looking really forward to tomorrow, though.
Yeah, looking forward for tomorrow, that's for sure, when we're on the radio talk show. So I can, give me the number. I could even tell it.
So what number?
The radio talk show in the front of the book there.
You're going to share it with people?
Yeah.
If they don't know already?
This is the radio talk show number, and it is 563-999-3509. No, I don't.
Make sure Claudia got it and all that.
Well, Kelsey was going to text her anyway,
Okay.
so.
Okay, good.
And she's going to put it on Skype here too, but I just thought I'd say it.
Tomorrow at 10 a.m. There's a few of you that will be on the show. So, yes, we're going to record the first episode of Your Choices. So, yes, that's good. Okay. And, yes, everybody, order your tomatoes from Bob.
That's right.
And don't forget to water them with all its water.
Get ready for the president. Yes.
That's right.
We're going to welcome the president.
I have my bushel basket ready.
Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.